Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. I'm knocking out some of these claws today, and today we're going to be looking at the Jade Talon. Now, the Jade Talon is a claw that actually comes ethereal, and I don't even think there is a non-ethereal version. Let me double check this really quickly. But I don't think that Jade Talon actually comes as a non-ethereal version. Here. Never mind. I think I'm thinking of Shadow Killer. That's what I'm thinking of. I don't have a Shadow Killer to do just yet. I'll probably make a video on that later. So Jade Talon is a very interesting one. It is a wrist sword, and wrist swords are the elite version. It goes wrist blade, wrist spike, wrist sword, and that should give you an idea that this is already fully upgraded. So we've got a 115 to 153 damage, 105 dex, 105 strength, and level 66. It's actually not bad at level 66, pretty low. It has +2 martial arts, +2 shadow disciplines, no traps. So it basically is a +2 if you're not building traps. So if you are a martial arts sin, it's gonna be technically +2 for you, as long as you're not building traps. If you're not building traps, it's only going to be +2/+2 for those specific trees. It has a very nice 30% faster hit recovery, and if you guys are unaware, Assassin basically has the same break points as the Paladin for faster recovery, so about 48% is really all you need anyway, and you already got 30 right here on the claw. And if you put this on with another really nice claw, like maybe Bartux or something like that, you'd have 60% faster recovery pretty quickly, and 60% faster recovery is more than enough for a character who is in there in the thick of it getting beat on. It also has a very nice 240 enhanced damage that does vary between 190 and 240%. So this does have a bit of a variance on the damage. I believe it's like 98 on the bottom end and 130 on the bottom end for the damage. Also, the +2 martial and the +2 shadow disciplines do actually roll, so they do roll from 1 to 2. So if you are looking for a perfect one of these, you're going to want a +2/+2. Obviously, you can end up with a +1/+1, which would not be that great, especially if you're going to use this as one of your main weapons. You probably want to make sure that you have the +2/+2. It also has a really nice mana stolen per hit of 10 to 15%, which is a variable, and it has a very nice all resistances of 40 to 50. Now, Jade Talon can also come in a ethereal form, so you can get it as a ethereal item, which is 173 to 227. And of course, if you wanted to actually utilize this on a character, you would have to put a Zod rune in it, and I don't have it socketed, otherwise I would slap it in there. We also have decreased dex and strength requirements of 95/95 instead of 105/105. If you're unaware, all ethereal items have 10 less on the durability, or sorry, the requirements. They also sell for 50% less as well. There's a lot of interesting things about ethereal items in this game. The damage on it, though, is pretty nice, but a lot of the times people don't use these for the damage. What do they use them for? Well, it's basically a shield, right? So if you're a dual claw assassin and you're having fun with your Natalia's Mark or whatever it is that you're using in your main hand, you can find some situations where you're going to, want resistances, or you're going to want something that's going to help you out. Well, we've got a lot of stats here that can help you out in your offhand. 30% faster hit recovery is very nice as an offhand item, right? +2 martial arts, +2 shadow disciplines, both very nice as an offhand item. The all resistance is 50, which does vary from 40 to 50, also very nice as an offhand item. And what is the thing that people use shields for the most? Well, they use shields as a resistance. Like, you use a spirit shield or a rhyme shield or a Coco Mal Sanctuary. There are, a Hoto. There's tons of shields in the game that have large amounts of resistances on them. And when you build resistances specifically, that's kind of a cool thing that you can do to beef those resistances up, is have a nice shield. Well, if you're a dual claw assassin, you've got no shield, and this is kind of like your shield for a dual claw assassin. You could also socket this, of course. You can't put an rune in it because it is a weapon. Runes will give open wounds, but you could find a nice 15 all-res jewel and put it in here. That would bump it up from 50 to what, 50, 65, so 65%. You could also theoretically put some other items in here to help increase maybe faster blocking. You could also do, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but there's runes that have stats on them. There's obviously a Zod rune if you had an ethereal one. You could customize it to what specifically you need. Although I do feel like if you're using it specifically as a, as a stat stick, a little bit of extra resistances would be nice. I also have to talk about the mana stolen per hit. So it's very interesting that this has 15% mana steal, because if you don't hit with this weapon, you won't get the mana steal, and it is kind of a downside. So if you're not actually hitting with this weapon, that 15% mana steal is kind of bunko. But if you really look at it objectively, the Jade Talon is really just a offhand shield item for an assassin. That is really its entire purpose. If you're hurting for resistances, if you need a little bit more faster hit recovery, if you'd like a couple plus to skills and you're not a trap assassin, this is your claw. And even if you are a trap assassin, +2 shadow disciplines can still come in handy for traps. It's a nice claw. Is it your end game, claw that you're going to be using for the rest of the, time when you play? Maybe not. But if you find one of these on your way leveling up and you're in hell difficulty and you're having trouble with resistances, this can definitely assist you in making your character a little bit more tanky, a little bit more, viable. Since we can't upgrade it, unfortunately, there's really not much more to show. It is what it is. It's not really a very complicated item. Let's take a look on Silo's Pen, though, and let's see potentially where we could find this item, and, why not? I think I might have forgotten to do the Silo's Pen for Bartux, but, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Bartux is a ethereal, is a what's it called? A nightmare level item, an exceptional level item, so it's not particularly hard to come by. Jade Talon also, for some reason, is not particularly difficult to come by. I've found a lot of Jade Talons in my time. So here we are over on Silo's Pen, and we'll take a look at this real quick. So let's take a look at bosses first. Let's assume we're 200% magic fine, because obviously this is a level 66 item. And let's go to the probability calculator here. And it does look like non-quest. So non-quest. Mephisto in Hell is our best bet at 1 in 646. And that does make sense because this is an elite item. So I would definitely farm Mephisto in Hell. That's a pretty good bet. Diablo in Hell, also pretty decent chance as well. So you could do both of those. Baal in Hell difficulty is a lot different. It is definitely one that you don't want to necessarily farm. I mean, if you're doing him for EXP, that's one thing. But let me just say right off the top of my head, it's not a great speed farming area. You're not going to be like speed farming Baal for items. And usually when you're playing in 8 players with a bunch of other people, the loot gets snatched up out of your way anyway. Unless you're doing a private 8-player Baal run, in which case you could divvy up the loot as you see fit. So Diablo, Mephisto, those are good choices. Let's take a look really quickly at super uniques. And as far as super uniques go, looks like Hell Cow King is not bad at 1 in 3,000. Neelathak 1 in 5,000. Radamant is not a good one. Bone Ash 1 in 7,200. He's super easy to farm. He literally is always in the same place. Trying to see if there's any other good options here. I mean, the Grand Visor of Chaos and Vector of Souls Lord ACs all have decent chance to drop that. Eldritch, Shank, Doc Farron, Frozenstein, Pindleskin, Thresh Socket, Hephaestus. I mean, that's a lot of monsters right there that you could definitely farm in quick succession. Not bad as far as that goes. And since I think I forgot to run the Bartux, and this is actually a companion item to Bartux, you might actually run them together. Let me really quickly go over the Bartux since I forgot. And I apologize. I apologize. So with Bartux, it looks like Hell Cow King is really the best bet there. Nightmare Neelathak, second. Not bad. It does look like Nightmare Doc Farron and Nightmare Pindle can drop Bartux, so those might be really good choices. Nightmare Eldritch and Nightmare Shank, yeah. So you could pretty much farm that pretty easily in Nightmare Act 5. And then as far as bosses goes, Bartuk's best choice is Bale in Nightmare. And Diablo in Nightmare, both very close. And then Andariel in Hell is a pretty good option too. Mephisto in Hell also. I mean, these are honestly these are all really close together. It really just comes down to what specifically you're looking for. I do feel like though that Diablo and Nightmare is probably the easiest out of the lot, just simply because once you've leveled up to the point where you're in Hell difficulty, you go backwards a little bit. Diablo and Nightmare is a piece of cake. You kill him over and over again. Obviously, he's in the same place. You can also obviously kill his little minions, get some other loot, and maybe even do seal popping tricks and stuff like that if that's what you'd like to do. So that's not bad. Well, guys and gals, I do appreciate you watching my video. Sorry about leaving the Bartux out of the Bartuk Silos pen out of that video, but you know it is what it is. If you found this item and you have a specific use for it, tell me what it is. I'd like to hear. And as always, thanks for watching, and keep watching.